Grandma Lois here again. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it, honestly. And I've got to start speaking a little louder because now I've got hearing aids and I don't have to talk as loud. But I'm getting used to it. I love my hearing aids. But this morning, I have a good verse for you, which is, I asked him, this iPhone, what would be a good verse for Sunday morning, and this is a good one. Psalms, the 5th chapter. In the morning, O Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning, I lay my request before you and wait in expectation. You know, yesterday we went to where they sell stuff for the Goodwill for $1.79 a pound. And James needed a little pocketbook to carry his keys and stuff in that you can hang on your shoulder. And we was looking in expectation to find exactly what we needed. You know, we just looked for it. And there it was. He found it. Perfect. And it was leather. And it probably didn't even cost $1.79. Probably wasn't even a pound. So we had fun doing that. We just had a good time yesterday using that thing and driving. Oh, here's Bella this morning. She loves her mommy. And my new little kitty cat is doing marvelous. He greets us at the door. The only thing is at night, he wants to sleep with us. But that can't happen. He's 9 months old. So, and they surrendered him a month or two before we got him. And he had been at the pound or at the shelter for a couple of months. But when he got us and found out that he had people, he says, oh, goody. So I think those people that surrendered him and gave him and kept him for that long till he was 7 months old, that he got to sleep with him. And it's probably some little kid that's crying now, but they probably had a litter. See, that's the way I used to have a cat that would have kittens and talk about, I don't know, hard time to get rid of them. See, 60 years ago, you didn't have a shelter that would really take them or anything, or do anything with them to speak of. So a lot of people drowned them. They just put them in a sack and threw them in the river, where they would drown, and that's the truth. But anyway, what we would do, there was a wonderful subdivision out the road that had just been built, and we would take those kittens were so sweet because my kids loved around on them, and I said, we can't keep them all. So we would take them out to the subdivision and drop them and leave them. Goodbye, little kitty cats. I don't know what happened to them. Only the Lord. And I have picked up cats and kept them before. The one time I went to I was catless. It happens. And so I went to the pet store to hunt me a cat because mine had died. And when I went down there, they had 4 or 5. And one of them just reached into the thing for me. She wanted me. I said, I'll take this one. It cost me $15. It was fixed and everything. The pet stores used to carry them. And so I took her home and we kept her till she passed away. But she's the one that had all them kittens. I never did get her fixed. I didn't have the money. Honey, I was poor. That's just what we said, we was poor. I was thinking about how on the farm, now this is a lot of reminiscing I'm doing again today, and we raised tobacco for money. We never did have much money on the farm, but we raised tobacco, and it's a job. And one of my tomato plants is trying to pass away. It's getting yellow. And I told James, I said, well, it's probably got cutworms. I should look and see. Now, cutworms are in the earth, and they bite the roots and ruin your plant. But on tobacco, they had tobacco worms, and they were about as big as my little finger there. See that? Pretty good size, 2/3. Big and green with a horn. And we had to kill them, pick them off and kill them. Me and Norman and Phyllis. Daddy raised tobacco. That was our cash crop. And when we got our money, and you know the thing of it is, the tobacco barn was in New Albany, Indiana, and we lived at Fredericksburg, 20 miles away. Then I got to go to town. So anyway, we would go to town and take that tobacco with us, and that's how Daddy made $3,000 a year, and that was the cash he got. But that's when we got new shoes from the Sears and Roebuck catalog, our dream book. I mean, we got a great old big Sears and Roebuck catalog every year. Daddy had a mailbox out at the road, which was about 3/4 of a mile to the mailbox. And it was one big old mailbox. You could put I mean, it wasn't no little old mailbox, because your stuff had to be secure, and nobody stole things out of mailboxes back then, but they do now. Anyway, we had a big old mailbox, and when that box would come with our new shoes, we was all rejoicing, happy for our brogans. I didn't get brogans. The boys had to wear the heavy shoes. I got penny loafers. I was the oldest. I've always been the oldest. And Mom used to say to me, "You have to set the example." Really? Why? But you know, she drilled that into my head, and now I'm still setting the example best I know how, though she used to get aggravated at me because I would backtalk her. Because when I got around 12, I thought I knew as much or more than she did. And she would get so aggravated at me, and she would start singing a song that's called "The Downward Road is Crowded, the downward road is crowded with unbelieving souls." And that's the one that don't honor their parents, and they're going straight to hell. No, no, no. I was just growing up. But sometimes she would sing me that song, and I would feel so condemned because, shucks, I'm trying to do good and set an example, but I thought I knew as much as she did. When I went to high school, I did learn a lot of stuff. I learned how to sew. I learned how to keep your dishes germ-free. You know, you wash them and then you rinse them. And so before, we washed our dishes in soapy water and then just dried them off with dish towel. But in high school, in home ec, I don't know if they still teach home economics or not, but I learned home economics, and it taught me how to sew. They had sewing machines that each one of us girls could have our own sewing machine, and I made a circular skirt. Just flew out when you turned around, because I always was prissy, if you know what that means. And I just always wanted to be cute. So, and I'm a cute old grandma, ain't I? I work on it, girls and boys. Bella keeps me company. I love life, and God is good, and I'm 90 now, enjoying life and talking to y'all, and this is a miracle that I get to talk to y'all and tell you all my things that I did, which was very interesting to me, because learning how to sew, Mom had a treadle sewing machine, and she could sew, but she taught herself how. But I was able to help her, and I learned how to cook things I never heard tell of. But I also, when I got married, I couldn't cook worth nothing. I tried. My mom, for my wedding present, gave me an orange skillet and a pan and a set of pillowcases. Why she gave me a set of pillowcases, I don't know, but she did. So anyway, I tried to cook fried potatoes, because we had fried potatoes a lot on our cook stove at home. We had soup beans and fried taters with cornbread, and maybe some pickle on the side, and a glass of milk. That was our supper. And when I grew up and Buddy kept going AWOL and went in the Navy, I had to move back in with my parents a little while, which wasn't much fun. But anyway, I would look forward to supper, because Mom would have soup beans and cornbread and fried potatoes, and Daddy took cucumbers and put them in a big crock and put them in the basement and let them soak in salt, and they were called briny pickles. And they went so good with them soup beans and cornbread, and of course a little onion on the side, and a glass of milk. And I still like that kind of food. Last week I cooked soup beans and we ate them 3 days, and I made cornbread. I did not make fried potatoes. I am on an eat less diet again. This morning, that scale that says you weigh 155.8, that's almost 156 pounds. And he took me out to the nice restaurant for breakfast this morning, and it was so good. Gravy and biscuit, a few potatoes, sausage, and an egg. So I gotta eat light today, so I'm fixing pizza for lunch, and I won't have 2 pieces. Just one, and it won't be real big. Gotta have a little milk. So that's what I'll be having for lunch, and pizza's in the oven right now. He'll be home in a minute. I've already watched my pastor, streamed him, and he was talking about when they opened the Olympics and had that Last Supper, and how they were so irreligious and make mockery of the Last Supper. I didn't see it, but I'm going to see if I can find it on YouTube. But you know what YouTube did? They kind of blurred him out when he was trying to tell about it. Can't find it, and I didn't see it when they did the opening, but he said it was so irreligious, and God don't like that kind of stuff, you know? So, Lord, help this nation to turn to God and back to family values, and a husband and a wife, a family with children. Eat your meals together. Be together. Love one another. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now, we don't hardly do that too much, but I do share cooking with my neighbors. And I make a pot of something. I don't hardly know how to make a small pot of spaghetti or chili, either one. So I have neighbors I share with, and they share with me. Sometimes that neighbor in front, he's in my front house. This is a duplex, and so I'm here during the day. Nobody can find me. Anyway, he cooks a meatloaf that is out of this world, and he shares it with me and James, and we really like it. But I'm going to shut up now, and James is going on that. No, I'm not going to shut up too soon. You know me. But anyway, he's going on a cruise on the Belle of Louisville, and I decided not to go because I just can't go on the water, and I don't like boats, and I don't like water, so I'm going to let him go with the church. It's a church group. He won't be by himself. He's taking his niece and her boyfriend, or friend, whatever. I don't know if he's her boyfriend. But anyway, I hope it's her boyfriend. You know, it's lonely being by yourself. That's why I got married 3 times. I never did like being by myself. Now, I had grandkids that would have come and lived with me, but I'd rather be by myself. Well, I'm going to learn how to do TikTok and Instagram maybe this week. We keep having to put it off, but that's the way it goes because my granddaughter's going to teach it to me. I'm going to go learn how. And I heard from Carve TV again that that young man, Cole Cantinio, I can't pronounce his last name, he checks in with me every so often, and I tell him I'm doing fine. He's the one that did all that stuff for me on TikTok that got me so many subscribers. And I like to get back on TikTok somehow or other one of these days. But it'll all work out. I'm blessed. Well, come on, Bella. Get up here and tell everybody bye. Get up here. Come on. Sometimes she's getting old, and she can't hardly jump. So I just lift her up. Turn around now and tell everybody bye. That's a good girl. Now, just tell them bye. We gotta go. Daddy'll be home in a minute, and the pizza is in the oven. So God bless you, and walk that walk where Jesus would be pleased with you. And remember that verse that I said, that we look forward in an expectation of what the Lord's going to do. That's called faith. Bye-bye. Love you. Walk that walk that Jesus would be pleased. Now, just a minute. Where's my glasses? I know good and well I need them. Got them right here. Which ones shall I wear? Have I got some purple ones, you reckon? Got ones like this. Well, Bella's gone. She's done all she's going to do. There. So, bye-bye. God bless you. Talk to you later.